Hi Shalini, welcome to Carol's Universe, tarot readings from the heart. So the readings usually go out sort of 24 to 48 hours when they come in, but I haven't been very well if I'm being completely honest. I've just actually got over a bout of sciatica, trapped nerve in the back. It was terrible, it was really, really bad. It was my birthday Monday the 18th, I share it with my twin sister obviously, and luckily I literally just started recovering last Saturday, thank Jesus. And now I've gone and got myself a cold, like everybody else's. So, but it's all good, you know. God is good. So, and I didn't see your questions. I mean, I don't know whether I was too disorientated or what. Half the time I was topped up with very strong painkillers. But anyway, this came through on the 17th, didn't it? This reading, because I'm looking at my email at the moment. It's saying that your questions were received 3 days ago. I'm sorry, sweetheart. I don't even know whether I contacted you and said that your reading would be with you at such a time. Anyway, we've got the reading, your questions here now. We're going to get on. It's a 20-minute reading, sweetheart. And thank you for your repeat custom and for your, for your support of the website and everything like that. I'm very lucky with my website because it's very successful. I've read for thousands of people and I have a lot of repeat customers, so I'm very, very lucky. I know that a lot of businesses in tarot are struggling at the moment, but I've been very fortunate. So, yeah. All right, and that's down to people like you, so thank you, Shalini. So let's have a look at what's going on then. I'm going to use a new deck that I got for my birthday, which is the Golden Tarot, the Golden Nouveau Tarot. Absolutely freaking stunning. Love this deck. And I'll show you what else I got. The Dark Mansion Tarot. I've already got the Dark Mansion Tarot. It's the bigger deck that I've got there. I got this for my family, the smaller one. I can't wait, it's amazing. And also the Botticelli deck and about 3 or 4 tarot books. Amazing. So happy with those presents this year. So let's have a look at what's what's happening for you, sweetheart. What's happening in your... This deck is amazing. Can't wait to use it. So you say, hi Carol, hope you're well. You're my favourite reader. Oh, thanks Shalini. Thank you, my sweet girl. Thank you, darling. Really appreciate that. Everything you said is true. Thank you, and I've recommended you to more people. Oh, thank you so much, Shalini. God bless you, darling. Thank you, baby. Thank you. Right, you said if I had the Taurus guy on Instagram, would it be a good idea? So let's have a look. In a 10-card reading universe, would it be a good idea for Shalini to add the Taurus guy? Or we're not going to take those too many cards. I just want 10 cards from the top of the deck, please. Would it be a good idea for Shalini to add the Taurus guy on Instagram? Would it be good for her to add? Would it be a good idea if she added in 10 cards from the top of the deck, please? Would it be a good idea for Shalini to add the Taurus guy on Instagram? Show me. Let's have a look. So we're going to go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There we go. And we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, and 5. There we go. Let's have a look at this. So, would it be a good idea? What's the tarot saying about this, Shalini? The first card is the 6 of Swords. Okay, 6 of Swords. I'm going to pull this down just a little bit so that we have a closer view of these wonderful cards. Okay. Let's pull these up as well here, just so it looks more centralised on the screen. 6 of Swords, would it be a good idea? And the first card that came out is the 6 of Swords. Would it be a good idea? 6 of Swords. So when you do tarot, you've got to try and explain the cards in terms of what the questioning is. So you're asking if it's going to be a good idea for you to add him on social media. Well, we've got swords here. So swords, the 6 of Swords is clarity. Excuse me, my sneeze. Oh dear. 6 of Swords. Swords is clarity and it's movement. Let's have a look at the next one. The Magician. So the Magician is creating the tools, searching. The Magician is also online stuff, so this is resources, using resources, searching, using resources. Would it be a good idea though? The Lovers. shows up here. So the Magician and the Lovers. The Magician is an instantaneous thing, and the Lovers is an attraction. Instantaneous attraction. I don't know whether you'd see an instantaneous attraction or an instantaneous kind of, because the Lovers is all about attraction. When you get the Magician, this can kind of be like an instantaneous attraction. You might see an instant attraction here. Let's have a look at the next one. Right, Queen of Wands. And you are Gemini. There's a Queen of Wands. I don't know whether that's you or not. I know that you're a Gemini, you're a Queen of Swords usually, or a Knight of Swords. Temperance. Temperance. So Temperance is the harmonising card. You might, I think that you'll see something start to cool. That's what I think is going to happen here. Because we've got Fire card here, we've got Love here, so these two cards are attraction, but I think that with the Temperance card, it's going to cool. The Queen of Wands, when it comes to a love reading, or it comes to kind of like anything to do with romance, she's all about something that's really hot, you know. She's all about something that's really kind of, when it comes to love, this is somebody who's very attractive, somebody who's very you know, action orientated. This is someone who takes action, but this is like a real attraction. This card is. He's 20th of the 4th, so he would be an Aries, would he not? And Aries is the Queen of Wands, so his attraction to you could, or his attraction to the Lovers, could start to cool. So I think that there is still an attraction here, but I think that because he's an Aries, he's the 20th of April, that's him, the Queen of Wands. So men, male, female, they can show as, you know, he doesn't have to show as a king. He can easily show as a queen. There's a reason for why he's showing as being a queen here, Shalini, but he nevertheless shows as being that Queen of Wands because he's an Aries. That is you as well, Gemini, because Gemini is your major card. All right. The Magician is also you as well. That's you, because the Magician is Gemini, Virgo. Now, this is communication. Magician is Mercury. All right, it's a planet ruled by the planet Mercury. It's all forms of communication. We've got a Six of Swords energy showing here. Now, that is not Gemini. The Six of Swords is Aquarius energy. All right, Six of Swords would be... so it's not going to be Saturn, and it's not going to be Mercury in Aquarius. It could be something like Uranus or something like that, because this is the freedom. I think that with the Six of Swords, you would start to see that his attraction would wane. This is you. The Magician and the Lovers, I think, is you, because you're Gemini. All right. So communication. Okay, you communicating as the Magician, showing as the Magician, your attraction to him, the Queen of Wands. All right. But I feel that what you would see is his attraction to the communication that you send out, because the Lovers is love. So it's about you guys. But remember, these are both Gemini energies here. So that energy is you. And this is you communicating your feelings, your love, because two Gemini cards and you're a Gemini. So this has to be you in this area here, Shalini. And I think that you would see that the communication that you're putting out about how you feel concerning your feelings for him, because you would be communicating, you know, your feelings, whether you believe it or not, because you're adding the Taurus guy on Instagram. I don't think it would be a good idea, just looking at the first 5 cards, because I think that his attraction to this, or because he's the Queen of Wands, and the Queen of Wands, if she sees this communication, which you're doing as the Magician, because you're putting the communication out of the Lovers, so you're communicating your feelings, you know, towards this person in a very... And also, the reason why you show as the Magician as well, Shalini, is because the Magician does everything underneath the guise of an illusion here. All right? So he's kind of like sending out this communication, but he's not being completely... You know, and also you're presenting love. You're presenting your feelings towards him, all right? You're presenting this as well towards him. Lovers and the Magician is both communication-based because they're Gemini, and Gemini is ruled by Mercury. planet of communications, and this is you communicating, showing, okay, and communicating your feelings here in one way or another. I think what you'd see with that Six of Swords is that his attraction to this. So basically, does he like this? I think no, with the Temperance energy. I think that his attraction to that energy would wane. Temperance energy, I think his attraction, because we have fire here. And even though we do have 2 fire cards, the Sagittarius card of Temperance and the Queen of Wands, which is an Aries. So this is 2 fire signs. The Temperance card can also mean to moderate and to temper. So when you're tempering something, it's cooling down. So I think that he would cool down. I think he, as the Queen of Wands, his attraction to this, you know, the fact that you've posted, put him on Instagram, you've added him to Instagram. I think his attraction to this energy would wane with the Temperance energy. Let's have a look at the other ones. We've got the Page of Coins. He would probably show a little bit of caution here, because the Page of Coins is all about being cautious. Let's have a look at the next one. Oh, the Hanged Man. All right. I think that he would be cautious. He would take a step back and review. Okay, I think that's him. I think he would take a step back and review. Let's have a look at the Hanged Man here. The Death energy shows up here. Okay. So the Death energy would be this change, this massive change, or this massive kind of, because the Death card is change. You've got the Hanged Man. So this is rebirth before the change. Okay, rebirth. Can you see how the Hanged Man goes down? It's Pisces. Energy is the Hanged Man. Hanged Man is ruled by Neptune. Neptune is the planet of spiritual enlightenment. So I think that he would probably be a little bit cautious. He's seeking enlightenment, possibly with the Death card, which is Scorpio energy is the Death card, but also ruled by Pluto, planet of transformation. So he would probably be very cautious. He would be seeking some form of enlightenment concerning why this transformation has occurred with the Death card, concerning the fact that you've added him to Facebook here, and the fact that he's kind of like, and his reaction, I think, is, well, Shalini, with that Queen of Wands energy, would be very cool, because Wands often react within the tarot. They're very reactive cards. You know, if you go up to a Wand person and you say something, they're going to be like, what are you talking about? They're going to react to it, you know. They're not going to be passive, because this is very active energy. So this is all about how he'd probably react as that Queen of Wands would be, with also with the Temperance card, very passive. I think his reaction with the Queen of Wands energy would probably be very passive. I think he'd be very cautious. He would take time out to try and gain some enlightenment on what happened, what affected this transformation, change, why you added him to, you know, to Facebook, sorry, to Instagram. Let's have a look. But I do feel that he would be flattered with the Nine of Cups energy. There's a smugness that he's feeling with the Nine of Cups energy. Five of Cups, usually Nine of Cups and the Five of Cups is putting on a brave face, but I think that there would be smugness even though he'd be feeling with the Five of Cups energy, that he's not going to do anything about it, because you've got the smile of the Nine of Cups energy, but you've also got this guy here who's feeling kind of slightly sad, quite sad actually, with the Five of Cups energy. Usually this is somebody who's putting on a brave face. They put on a smile amidst this. So I think that if you saw him, he would still kind of be, you know, probably smile or be nice or whatever. But I very much doubt that I think he would hide that he's feeling the Five of Cups, a little bit kind of like wishy-washy about the situation. Five of Cups is second deacon in Scorpio. What is second deacon in Scorpio? Five of Cups, I'm sure, is ruled by Mars. I think it's ruled by Mars, actually, which rules the Tower. So I think that his feelings would be very disjointed. I think that his feelings would probably be very kind of, there'd be a sense of chaos concerning his feelings. I think that Five of Cups is actually ruled by Mars. Actually, let me just check in my book. I hope you don't mind. This is one of the books that I got for my birthday as well, sorry. Astrology and Tarot. Amazing. Let's just have a quick look at this file. I want to see what it's ruled by, the Five of Cups. That's the Six of Cups. Sun in Scorpio. Yeah, I was right. There you go. Can you see that? See, that's what I was right. Mars in Scorpio is the Five of Cups. So, yeah. Yeah, the young woman on the card is already familiar with death. Major Arcana card that corresponds to Scorpio. Because blah, blah, blah. Right, let's have a look at what it says here. Five of Cups often represents sadness, loss and regret. I mean, there's nothing that he's going to do about it. There's nothing that he's going to do. So he's still going to put on this kind of like nice face, even though he doesn't plan to do anything about it. I see a lot of passiveness with this because Cups represent passive energy. And even the Temperance card, even though it's ruled by Sagittarius, which is the sign of exploration, when you get Sagittarius ruled by Jupiter, it's actually a card about being quite passive as well, because there's a cooling down of the fire. Even though it's Sagittarius, there's still a cooling down of the fire energy. The Queen of Wands is much more bold, even though this is a major arcana. The Queen of Wands is the smaller arcana, it's a court card. But I think that this is how he reacts. He's in a very kind of with the wishy-washy way as well with the Temperance energy. I think that with the Queen of Wands, he reacts in a very wishy-washy way. All right, so what I feel here is that, let's put this book back. What I feel here is it a good idea? I think it's not going to be a good idea for you, especially if you feel hurt by his behaviour or his reaction, or the fact that you don't get much of a reaction. Because I don't think you are going to get much of a reaction. All right, you can put it on there, but I just don't feel that it's going to bring the type of reaction that you're looking for. That's what I think is going on here. I think that what you would see, because you're looking into these two cards here, what you would see is that your communication as the Magician, because this is you're trying to create this energy. So what you would see, Six of Swords energy, is that the energy that you're trying to create as the Magician in terms of the lovers between you and him, I think that his reaction with that Queen of Wands will be very passive with the Temperance energy. I think that he'd be very cautious concerning you. Page of Coins energy, because the Page of Coins has the coin now very much close to his chest, so he's going to be very cautious here. I think he would take a step back. Hangman, ruled by Neptune, take a step back to seek enlightenment on why this transformation, this big transformation, as he will see it, Scorpio ruled by Pluto, why this big transformation has occurred, in that you've kind of communicated in a way your feelings, but also you're trying to create the energy of the lovers, regardless of how you want to kind of dress it up or whatever. I think he'll be flattered, but I think that he'll kind of know with this Five of Cups energy that he's not going to do anything about it, potentially, with that Five of Cups. So that, it's up to you how you want to kind of do that thing, Shalini. But I think that you'll get very little reaction out of this guy. I think he'll be flattered by it, but he'll also, it feels to me with these two cards here, especially the Hangman and the Death card, it feels like this guy is kind of scratching his head and kind of saying, oh, well, I'm really flattered by it. But you know what? He's kind of, with these two cards, almost feels quite passive. And he might feel sad because he's kind of like with the Temperance energy, he's kind of saying, I've just got to be passive to it. I've got to be, because his reaction's going to be very passive with the Temperance energy. I think with this Queen of Wands, because he's Aries, so he's going to be the Queen of Wands, so he's going to be very passive with that. And I think that he'll smile about it. He'll feel quite smug that you've done it and quite kind of flattered that you've done it. But I think that there's a little bit of regret in a way that he just can't do anything about the situation. Yeah, and I think that he's going to be here just scratching his head and thinking to himself, why is she, because he's taking a step back to review why this massive transformation, why you've gone and done this. Why has she gone and done this? Okay. I don't think it's a good idea, because I think this is you seeing this energy, because in front of you, you're here at the Six of Swords, and if you look, you're looking at and you're seeing all of this occurring. So it depends. You can do it, but I think that it's not going to serve the purpose that you want it to serve. Let's have a look at the next cards. You say, why would those girls gossip about me and that guy? Okay. Oops, daisy. Let me pick up this card. There we go. It's so nice being able to sit on a chair again and not feel, touch wood, any pain. Because I was in real pain with that sciatica. It was terrible. Okay, let's have a look. Sorry. I'll just have a little chat while I'm picking up the cards. I love these cards. Right. Okay, so Universe Spirit, show me in a 10 card reading. Why would the girls gossip about Shalini and this Taurus guy? In 10 cards, why would these girls Why would these girls gossip about Shalini and this Taurus guy? In a 10-card reading, why would these girls gossip about Shalini and this Taurus guy? Show me in 10 cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There we go. So let's have a look at what the cards are going to tell us. Why would they gossip about you? Well, you've got the 8 of Wands. So the 8 of Wands is kind of like lots of things up in the air. Why would they gossip? Well, they would gossip because of the 8 of Wands. Maybe things are progressing. Maybe they see things are progressing because the 8 of Wands is all about progress. Let's have a look at the next one. But you've got a 4 of Coins. They may want to stop things from progressing because the 4 of Coins is like to block that 8 of Wands. So they may be gossiping about you because they want to stop any progress. That to me kind of smacks of kind of jealousy. Because if you look at the 2 cards together, Shalini, look at them. One is moving, one is not. This one is blocking this one. I mean, if we were to have it maybe this way around, you'd say something like, not in particular to do with this question, but this is somebody who's probably releasing money, or they're coming out of a comfort zone, or, you know, this is stagnation and there's now movement forward with the 8 of Wands. After that 4 of Coins, there'd be stagnation and movement. But the movement is being blocked by the 4 of Coins. All right? So this is probably to do with things. They could see things maybe could progress. Maybe with the 4 of Coins, they wanted to put a stop to that with the 4 of Coins. They wanted to block 4 of Coins energy, any progress happening between you and this individual showing here. Yeah, the 2 of Cups energy showing here. So probably they wanted to block any kind of progress in terms of your relationship, 2 of Cups energy, with this individual. Maybe they wanted to block any kind of conversations, communication, 8 of Wands energy, about, you know, any conversations happening between the 2 of you, or maybe they wanted to get in the way of you guys meeting up and having a conversation. You know, I mean, I should imagine, Shalini, that if they could make it seem that they were gossiping about you in front of him as well, kind of making you look silly, or because that's what girls do sometimes. When I've been through it myself, when I've worked in certain places, and, you know, there's been someone, I mean, whenever I used to work in offices, you know, always used to have businessmen attracted to me. So men who were in very prominent positions in the jobs that I was in, like the managers or the big bosses, they were always interested. And I always had the same pattern. That's why I don't work in offices anymore. Just an absolute head fuck. Even though yours is in a, you know, an educational capacity, mine was in offices. And every time I go in, somebody in a high position would be attracted to me. You would find a lot of jealousy coming from females, and females would try anything that they would do to block the progress of the relationship, anything, because it's pure jealousy, you know. So that's, you know, he's probably quite popular, maybe, mate. I think they like him. I think that also, why would the girls gossip about you and that guy? Well, yeah, they want to block any progress between you two happening. They want to block any kind of you guys coming together and converse. They want to block it. So it's not just you. What they'll have done is that they're not just going to kind of like gossip about you. They'll make sure that he hears the gossip as well, I should imagine. Because that's how it works, or else there's no point in doing it. Or if they're gossiping, they're going to make sure that the gossip spreads, because that's what happens with gossip. What's this? The Queen of Coins. So there's a woman showing here. That's not you. So there's a woman involved in the situation here. This is probably one of the girls. Queen of Coins energy. I think that there's a woman in charge. There's a woman at the head of this, with the Chariot and the because the Chariot means to be in charge. So I think that there is a ringleader here with this Queen of Coins and the Chariot. There's a woman in charge, I think, here. I think that she's, and also the Chariot is ruled by Cancer. So this is the sign of home, family and responsibility. So there's a woman probably responsible for a lot of this stuff, if we do, just to use one little piece of keyword there. She's probably the main culprit here, along with her minions. The Fool energy. So the Fool energy ruled by Uranus. This is to do with independence and freedom. Opportunities. Let's have a look. the sun, the moon, sorry, the moon energy showed here, okay? So moon rules high priestess energy. Moon is about secrecy. This is about something coming out of the moon. Something coming out of the moon. Because the moon, we've got two majors here, and we've got a fool coming out of the moon, out of the shadows. So something coming out of the shadows here. Okay, that could bring sadness. I think that they were planning on something, bringing something out. The fool is coming out of the moon energy. So it's almost like this person is now finally getting some form of enlightenment here. It's almost like they're gossiping because they're trying to... And the Five of Cups is regret and loss and sadness. So it's almost like that they were... with the fool energy, or she, because I'm seeing there's somebody here in that group, Shalini, who is actually responsible for this. All right, there's a woman showing here who's actually at the head of all of this. All right, she wants to bring something out of the moon, so she wants to bring something out of the dark that's going to cause problems by the cups. Who's probably causing him to second guess. I think that they're seeing him as being the Five of Cups, and they want him to kind of start second guessing this situation. Let's have a look at the next one. Yeah, they want him to start second guessing and to cut you off. Therefore, with the King of Swords energy. Okay, Knight of Swords energy showing here. That's interesting. That's a Gemini. See, that's you, the Gemini, and that's him. They see as the King of Swords. They want him to start... See, they want to bring this fool out of the shadows. The moon is the shadow, but the fool is coming out of it. So maybe he is the fool. Maybe they want to take him out of the moon energy. Because the moon can be the illusion. So the fool is coming out of the illusion, which I reckon is him, showing as now being the King of Swords. So they're wanting to almost bring him out of his illusion about you. All right? And make him kind of recognise maybe, I think this is getting him to kind of, to review the relationship and say, or review you and say, oh, no, maybe she's not, you know, maybe she's not worth it. Maybe she's not my type. Maybe she's not the right person for me. And there you are pursuing him, but they want him to... Can you see how he just sits straight? There. Let me have a look at him and you. Can you see? They want him to ignore you. Look at that. That's him. Even though he's an Aries, it doesn't matter. Now he shows as the King of Swords because they want him to... And this is you, Gemini, the Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords is a Gemini person. They want him to cut you off. They want him to ignore your advances. It's jealousy. It's plain old fucking jealousy. That's what, sorry for swearing, Shalini, that's what it is, darling. It's jealousy. That's all it is jealousy. Jealousy. Right, let's go back to that question. And I love doing your readings. I just find you I find the whole thing really fascinating when I read it. I love doing your readings. Very, very interesting. Why would those girls gossip about me and that guy? Well, they want to stop. The key card to look at here is the Four of Coins. It stands between that Two of Cups and the Eight of Wands. All right, this is the progress of a relationship. They want to stop. They want to get in between any kind of relationship progressing between the both of you. There's a woman who's responsible for this. And I'm going to ask in a minute why she's responsible. There's a woman here who's responsible for this, all right? She wants to bring him out, the fool, as she considers him, because the fool also can be somebody who's kind of like lacks any type of awareness. So she wants to bring this fool, as she considers this guy, so she must know him quite well, out of the shadows, out of his illusion, because the moon is an illusion. And she wants him to review his feelings for you with the Five of Cups energy. And she also wants him, in the end, to ignore your advances, because that's you advancing towards him, and this is him just looking straight on and ignoring it. So in the end, the whole point is to get him to ignore your advances. All right, they're trying to stand between you and this guy advancing in any way, shape or form. And the gossip that travels to him will basically, they're hoping, have an effect on his feelings towards you, so much so that in the end he just ignores any type of advances that you might make. Basically, they try to sabotage shit for you. Let's have a look at... It's just jealousy, basically. Oh, I forgot to clarify that Queen of Wands. I think I put her back in, sorry. I'll just ask anyway. They're lovely cards, aren't they? I love these cards. Let's have a look. Why is this Queen of Coins showing as being the responsible, you know, the head of the situation? Why is she showing as being responsible for all of this? What is this Queen of Coins in Shalini's reading? There's a woman here who's the ringleader. Why is this woman showing us being the ringleader of the situation in 2 cards? Let's just have a quick look, see if we can find out anything. Because of the world. So the world is conclusion. The world is also boundaries and limitations in the physical. And the world. Maybe this could also be her goal is to achieve the lovers with him. So maybe she wants to be with him, for example, showing up here. I think that she's got a plan ahead. She's looking ahead. The 2 of Wands is here. 2 of Wands is that there's a plan. I think she has a plan to be with him, the world and the lovers. Okay. I think that she wants to be with him. I think her plan in the long term is to have a relationship with this guy, is to achieve the goal of the relationship with this guy. All right. That's why I think that she's doing what she's doing. Excuse me. Which makes sense, because that's what girls usually do. It's happened to me loads of times, you know, which is why I don't work back in offices anymore, and I decided to set my own business up because I just couldn't. I know you don't work in offices, I know that this is at college, but for me, enough was enough, man. I just couldn't be bothered with the whole thing. What feelings does he want you to tell him, following on from the other reading? So in 5 cards, what feelings does the Taurus guy want Shalini to tell him? In 5 cards, what feelings does the Taurus guy want Shalini to tell him? Show me. Let's have a look at what we can see. Well, we've got the Page of Cups. So the Page of Cups is just like nice things, you know, like I like you and, you know, I find you attractive and that type of thing. The 2 of Swords, though, so the things that he wants to tell you, he wants you to tell him, he might want you to tell him that those feelings are quite deep. Because the 2 of Swords is all about feelings that go deeper. They, you know, there's a blindfold on the woman's eyes. Her hands are crossed against her heart, but also this is deep insight, so this is something deep. So maybe he would love you to tell him that your feelings are quite deep with the 2 of Swords energy. You've got this Knight of Swords energy showing here. So it's interesting because there you are again, Gemini, Shalini, moving towards the 2 of Swords. This is Libra energy. Libra energy. Now, the 2 of Swords is somebody who is... usually when you get the 2 of Swords, this is young love. This is somebody who's quite kind of naive. But the 2 of Swords is also usually, it's ruled by... because it's ruled by Libra. But this is Venus in Libra. So this is usually affairs of the heart. So this would usually be a woman or a man who is faced with a choice between 2 lovers. All right? So I actually feel that he just wants you to tell him that, Page of Cups. He'd like you to tell him that actually you're attracted to him. But I feel that this is him. He, with this 2 of Swords energy, is, you know, he's facing a choice between 2 people. There you are advancing towards him as the Knight of Swords. But he can't accept this advancement maybe with the 2 of Swords energy showing here. Strength energy. Strong advancement. Advancing strength. Queen of Cups though, let's have a look. Let me think about this. He wants you to tell him. Let's move these over a little bit actually here. But I think this is deep. Let's just call it deep. That would make sense because we have to go along with the question. So when we look at the question, we have to read the cards in line with what you asked. And what you asked was, what feelings does the Taurus guy want you to tell him? Well, he wants you probably to tell him excuse me, that your feelings, the Page of Cups energy could run deep. 2 of Swords. Excuse me. 2 of Swords. I mean, this is strong. The strength is strong. Strong feeling. But the Queen of Cups shows there as well. I think he wants to tell you that your feelings might run a bit deep with that 2 of Swords energy. Knight of Swords is you advancing. Deep feelings have been advancing. So that over a period of time, your feelings probably have been advancing, moving, you know. I think that he wants you to tell you that you really like him. That's what I'm getting from those cards. Because, excuse me, I have to read everything in line with what you're asking me. And the Page of Cups is the feelings, but with the Two of Swords, because it's such a deep card and everything goes on in the inside, it's almost like these feelings run deep. And they've been kind of advancing over a period of time, because the Knight of Swords is all about advancement. So it's almost like these feelings are running deeper. They've been advancing over a period of time. And now you find that you've got these strong feelings that you've kind of buried or something like that. So it's almost like he wants you to tell him that you've got, you know, some pretty, you know, strong feelings for him or something like that. But the guy sounds immature because you hardly know him. And from what I get here is that we've got kind of the advancement of the Knight of Swords, we've got the deepness of the Two of Swords, we've got the lightness of the Page. So it's almost like these feelings, these light-hearted feelings are now kind of starting to deepen, and they've been advancing, and, you know, because Knight of Swords advancing. So it's almost like the feelings have been advancing over a period of time, and they've been the feelings have been getting deeper and strengthening. But if he wants you to tell him something like that, then he's a little bit, I think, number one, just going on from that first reading where we saw him being the Nine of Cups and being a little bit kind of smug as well, even though there wasn't anything that he could do about the he felt that he was going to do about the situation with you if you put him on, you know, put him on Instagram. I feel that in a way with the Five of Cups, he isn't going to do anything about it, but he feels kind of flattered by it. And I just feel that what you're looking at as well is somebody who's quite smug, and somebody who might also be quite full of himself to a certain extent as well. Because when you get swords as well, how does he expect you, what does he want you to say about how you feel about him? Following on from the last reading, well, the feelings would run deep, because the Two of Swords runs deep. It's a deep card, everything's going on. Can you see how she's blocked out the outside? Everything's going on internally. So her feelings run deep, and they've been advancing probably with that Knight of Swords over a period of time. And there are very strong feelings that are kind of being held within, because the cup is on, you know, her cup is covered. So the feelings are running really deep in these areas. Two cards that show feelings running really deep are the Two of Swords and that Queen of Cups. And we showed, you know, feelings here. So there's two cards that, you know, we've got a feelings card here. We've got two cards suggesting that they're running really deep and they're strong and they've been advancing with the Knight of Swords. But it's really weird because you hardly fucking know him. So I just feel that this person is either, you know, too smug for his own good, or he just expects more from you than, you know, he should expect for someone that he hardly knows, to be honest with you. He obviously feels that you probably feel a lot more for him than he does for you. I think that this person maybe has a little bit of a big head. That's what I'm getting here from this reading. All right then, my darling. I love you loads, babe. Love you. Take care. Bye.